Okay, welcome back to Turn 5. This will be, what, the third video. I'm Napoleonic PC Wargamers against the original Grognard, Mr. Devon. Right, not much change by the look of it. Again, I didn't watch the turn back. What's he done up here? Carlton, he's pushing cavalry and infantry out. Line infantry, Jaegers... More Jaegers, possibly shoots, and then if they're Jaegers they might be shoots. And his dragoons, again small squadrons, and he's pushing them out into the fields. Okay, so he's coming out to meet me if I didn't know any better. He's pushed still his... I've called this the reserve cavalry. Okay, it might not be, there's a lot of it. I just assume, just because of the amount of it, that there is a lot of reserve there. In the woods then, north of Dennewitz, what have we got? A lot of skirmish action going on. See in the woods, yeah, Landwehr, Silesian Landwehr, so not the worst. They're probably D, I wouldn't say the E, I wouldn't say they're that bad, but he's turned that gun around. I should say, thank you very much to the newcomers to the channel, appreciate the nice comments. So I'm terrible with pronouncing names. Remembering names is another thing completely, even worse with remembering names. But Red Sox Hour was the one guy there. I remember you from a video that Devon did with ID Jester about wargaming. It just happened to come up on my screen and sat down and watched the whole thing. It was really interesting, and it's Devon's fault I got into Command and Colours. For those that don't know or are unfamiliar with it then, now I don't want to teach you to suck eggs if you are familiar with the John Tiller series, but it's probably one of the closest things you can get to hex-based wargaming that's sort of, I wouldn't even say mainstream, it's still a bit of a niche market. But the John Tiller series, turn-based, hex-based system, 10 to 15 minute turns, 100 to 150 meter hexes, that kind of thing. Everything is battalion sized or battery sized for guns, not the best example there. There we got the 5, and cavalry, depends on the game, sometimes they're in regiment strength, sometimes they're split into squadrons, but you can split them down into squadrons if they're not. And battalions of infantry, if they're light infantry though, you can break them down all into skirmishers, and you can do that with guard infantry, but other infantry units, you'd have to see a little designation, can deploy. That means they can deploy a formation of skirmishers. What I would suggest, if you really want to get into it, have a look at my channel, go back to when I first started doing them all, and there's loads of tutorial videos there, and what is infantry, what does cavalry do, how to operate it all, and all that sort of little bits and bobs, rather than go into it all and buffer out these videos. Devon said his videos are coming in around 20 minutes, mine are just less. Now, those that are following me for Waterloo, and I've watched ALO and things like that, I haven't gone into as much detail with this one. I mean, Waterloo's full planning, it's planning maps, it's going through the regiments, or soon to go through, well I did go through each corps, but I'm planning to go through regimental histories for all the Prussians now. But we said we'd keep these to sort of 20 minutes, half an hour maximum, with 2 turns per video, just so it's manageable and watchable. Thinking of you guys as well, like me, you've got to watch, or you might not have to, but you're probably watching both videos if you're following the series. Now, interesting, this cavalry is now on the move, and something's popped up here. Some more Landwehr at Juterberg. Right, so get my scouts out, continue there, might send the couple of squadrons just south of the river to Rohrbeck, and then up around here. Gap here. I'll keep some reserves in Dennewitz, so I might have to. Somebody said this is a hard battle to win, isn't it? I can imagine it would be. They got soundly thrashed on the day in real life. Udino did not come to Ney's rescue, or it wasn't even a rescue, he just didn't come, he sent some piddly little couple of battalions. And it was very piecemeal, and the loss ratio was something like 2 to 1. The Allies absolutely smashed them. There's all sorts of rewards and recognition for Bernadotte and for Bulau from the Prussians. Right, I could talk all day. So what I'm going to do is get my Italians here, up to Grossdorf on that road, get the Germans carrying on across, get the French line troops to Wormsdorf. I think I'm going to spread out between Niedergesdorf and Wormsdorf, and that's because he's coming down. I may have to have an ad hoc defensive position, possibly. So that would be good because there's some nice, semi-defensible terrain there, and the town's there. Is that a creek? It is, yeah. So he can pass a creek. If it was a river, like that light blue one, there we go, stream. He can pass over it, but the creek will offer us protection on our right flank. Plus we've got some sort of high ground, and I can't really see it there, but on the 2D map you can. So that's what I'm going to do. And in the woods, I'm not going to push too far. It's a case of consolidating and getting my guns set up before I actually decide what I'm doing. I don't know what he's got out here. Just judging by the amount of skirmishes he's got, I'm going to assume that he's got the parent regiment somewhere, parent battalion somewhere up here. Right, business as usual. I'm going to get back after I've done my movement, and then we'll get back and see if we can't kill some of these Prussians. I think I'm just about moved. Now, the first thing I want to do is just check. We're 11:40 game time in the morning. And I'll wait for an hour for some horse artillery. 10 minutes later comes some dragoons. Good. And some cuirasses. Excuse me. Okay, they're far away. But let's pre-plan them and where we want to use them as time goes on. 1 o'clock. Some Leger, some line troops. More dragoons coming at 1 o'clock. Or 1 o'clock, things are going to get busy. Some Chasseurs Chevals, some Hussars, some light cavalry then. Some Saxon Hussars. Dodgy, will they stay with me? Some Hussars. So, yeah, this afternoon, what have we got? That's, what do we say, 11:40, so about an hour and a half. We're going to have a lot of troops coming, so we're going to have to eventually think about where they want to come up. Now, they're not all going to go up towards Dennewitz. A lot of them are going to go up to Seehausen, Blonsdorf, join the Poles, and hit him on what I'm hoping is his right flank. Unless that's his reserve cavalry in the middle of his line. I don't know. We'll see. So, yep. Polish Lancers, they're on their way up to Goldsdorf over the open ground, as I said last time. Nice looking unit, Polish Lancers, especially Polish Lancers of the Guard. Brilliant unit. Definitely one of my top 10. The Poles themselves, the line troops, they're going up as well. The Germans have swung round, the Württembergers, and this cavalry is eventually going to get up. But what I did notice is that I'm not sure what he's doing with these Lancers. Is he scouting? They could pester me, and he could use them what I call Cossack-like. And just hinder and pester and cause an annoyance and inconvenience. So I'm going to have to get some guns up here on that high ground. It's not a bad little spot to defend anyway, because it hinges between the Italians and the French, and it's a nice spot. So I'm going to get some guns up there and some infantry as well. The only problem I've got, or not a problem, is we're playing with the house rules where we've got to have a supply wagon there or thereabouts nearby. We're not playing it as strict as what my house rules say, just in a historical sense. That has no impact on the game at all. Ammo all comes from a central pool for artillery, but just to make it a little bit more sort of historically accurate, realistic, we're saying, yeah, your artillery, foot artillery, should I say, has to be within a handful of hexes of a supply wagon, although they got 2 salvos in Kazon, so you don't have to go there immediately. Horse artillery, exempt. With the Italians then, in the woods, I want to get rid of these skirmishers. Now, what I'm going to do is skirmish with my skirmish line, and then bring forward the battalions, the Legers, the Class B. We do have, there he is, St. Andrea, and he's in command range. What's command range? There's his command range, so he's in command of everything, hotkey K, and so they can attack. They're within their command range. Ney is back there. What's Ney's command range, out of curiosity? Oh yeah, he's well in his command range. Okay, so, good. Right, so let's do some skirmishing. No effect on land versus skirmishers. Okay, bring you forward. And we should win this. We should win these melees. Push them out of the woods, yep. I'm not going to push forward with them, just because I think it's better. No. Oh, and there's no undo move because we've got Fog of War. Never mind. What I will do is just bring them up. Not losing out anyway, shot with skirmishers. Because what I want to do is have this as my defensive line, forward of the woods to bring my guns up and to overlook his positions there. I'm not staying and skirmishing for 5 minutes or 5 turns with them. I've got the better troops. I'm not saying I've got more numbers, but I've got the better troops and I want to get these guns. I can't have them stuck in the woods because it's going to take them a turn or two to get to the front of those woods anyway. Okay, good. Now, let's get these guns up. There'll be opportunity fire. I'm just trying to think now, if he does push through with that skirmisher on him, that gun goes. However, have you still got? Yes, you do. Movement allowance exceeded. It's a bit of a bizarre one. 13 points. And we can't get that gun up there. Never mind, it's not the end of the world. Let's see what we've got here then. Do I want to push my skirmish line forward a little bit? Yeah, why not? I'll bring you out a little bit. These are the only guns I can fire with, just because everything else, I brought them forward, can't unlimber them, there's no points, and again with this gun I brought it forward, unlimbered it, but foot artillery can't fire and unlimber it on the same turn, I can't move, horse artillery can. Unlimbered this 3-pound battery over here, just to overlook that cavalry, prepared to put them into square if I need it. I do have some reserves, I've got 1 battalion, got the guard, or Italian guard, and some sappers, some pioneers there. So this is all we've got, and let's have a go at these troops up on the hill. 2 men, gotta love 3-pounders. Probably the loud noise that did it. Okay, that's about all we can do there. Until I get that line established in the woods, there's not much I can do, to be honest. Right, I think... let's bring Martel in the middle there. That's about all I really want to do at the minute. Let's have a look, see what we've got. 70 French dead, oh dear, and 30 allies. I take it that's mostly from artillery fire. And a few people pushing through in the woods, but there we go. No, they can't go forward. Keep the guard there, the Milan guard. Only B quality. Alright, we'll leave it at that. We'll send it back to Devon. Thank you very much for watching, and appreciate all the comments. Hopefully this is going to be quite exciting. More exciting than Borodino. Or the Borodino one I did, because that was just... At least Devon is a historical player, put it that way. Okay, thanks for watching guys. I'll send that over. Catch you on the next turn. Righty-ho, turn 6, and we got some fatigue and a routed unit. Where is this routed unit then? Where's highlight routed units? It's up here somewhere, I thought it was. Disordered, haven't got routed. Okay, but it must have been up here somewhere. Right. What we done? He does have a lot of troops out in those, or just... north of the woods. Doesn't look like he's got anything up here though, and I thought he would have had more. No major issue. So he's pushing forward with his cavalry there. And looks like he's going to defend. Let's get the name that time. Jüterbog. And he is bringing all those lancers forward there. Okay, we're going to meet them with some French shot and put those guns up on that hill. Still no reinforcements arriving. Mind you, they're not coming for another hour or so in game time. Poles, they're going to continue to Goldsdorf and then up, as are the Germans. And he is coming down that road, so I'm going to have to... Ooh, it's be a race against time whether I can get my defensive line spread out enough. I would have thought I would be able to. What have we got? We've got the road, and it's like a sunken road. So ideally, we want to be up on this high ground. Just trying to think. Probably better to march into position where he can't see us. He won't be able to see us from there on that sunken road. But we're sort of equidistant apart. We're going to meet in Wormsdorf at the same time by the look of it. Right, that'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm just going to get them down as far to see what they can, how far they can get. Right. That means, what are they coming? Line troops in, okay, 700. That means he's going to be about there, I'll be there, he'll be there. It's going to be quite interesting, but what I can do is maybe set up some artillery, because that's quite close by, just overlooking that road, just to try and pepper him as he comes in. Okay, what else have we got? Italians in the woods. Yeah, they're in quite a nice position. And bring those guns up and probably push my skirmish line forward. Where's my cavalry? And that's all I've got coming for the time being. Okay, that's I don't want to draw too much into this area around here because I don't think he's got as much as I thought he did originally, because I thought he would have had a fair few forces up here towards this sort of victory point, but he hasn't. But the main thrust from him looks like it's coming down this road. Reserve cavalry's coming across. Okay, interesting. Right, I'm going to get moved and see you back in a few. So that's everyone all moved. Polish lancers going across the fields, plus their line troops. Germans just about on main road again after they've swung round. Very slow going on this main road here though. It's as far as I got into Niedersdorf. Next turn I'll be able to get though at least one battery of 3-pounders up onto the high ground there, so they're not going to do much at all really, and it'll be a race to Wormsdorf. 2 battalions, we've got some light legers, what are they, quality B, and okay, so it's going to be the light troops that hold out and fight with the leading elements. Mind you, he's got 2 battalions there, he's got following up. Oh, and he's got some Fusiliers as well. Right, got some guns up onto the high ground. I've got 2 lots of guns on the high ground. I don't think he'd be possibly daft enough to have a go at lancers there up on the high ground. There's a leader there. Right, we'll see. We'll see. Because this cavalry next turn, actually, they've got more points than I initially thought. So they're all moving off the road. You can move up the road. And that cavalry were going to plug that gap, weren't they? That was the plan. Brought out my chasseurs chevals to sort of this gap here. Put my right flank into square with a gap in between. So hopefully that will... Oh, range of weapon exceeded by 1 hex. 3-pounders. Just useless. And we brought the chasseurs cheval down here just to have a look what we've got far south. Well, not far south, but the other side of this wood, around Rawbeck. Brought my line forward, brought my skirmishers forward. I do have to try and attack this ridge. Now I know he's got a lot of troops there, but they're Landwehr. I'm not expecting much from them. The only thing they've got going for them, they've got a fair bit of artillery, and they're on the high ground. So it's going to have to be a coordinated attack. Right, let's get some artillery on them though. Our pop guns. Nothing. Nothing. And in the woods itself, we didn't really organise much at all. Skirmishes there. We'll have a go at them, see if we can't push them back. No. Should be able to push them back here. Oh. Aha. He does have troops there. And they must be on 100 feet. They're on 100. They're on 100. They're on 100. I wonder how we didn't see them. Okay, we do see them now, that's for sure. So we bumped into some reserve infantry. They're probably class C quality. Okay, so we're going to have to do something about that. Can't bring those guns up. 13, that's all they've got. And they can't move anywhere. Alright. Brought these guns forward. Uses all their movement points going through these woods. That's the trouble. Can't really do much at all. Unlimbered these guns. Unlimbered these guns as well, but there's not much we can do apart from skirmish now. Brought the guard forward even. Quite thinly spread, more thinly spread out than I sort of originally anticipated. Just because I'm sort of creeping around this right flank, but then I've got to be careful that cavalry doesn't come up my rear as I sort of swing round. So what I mean by that is they're probably, well hopefully, going to attack there, attack directly there, there, but the concern then is we've got cavalry that can come and hit the rear. That's why my squares are there, but they're more defensive. So I brought forward the guard. They're going to act as my reserve, and possibly if they needed to come out and put defensive squares there as well. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. What else have we got? I think that's about it really this turn. Even when reinforcements come in an hour or so, they've got a long way to go. They might as well be back down in France. All this way. Alright, I'll send this over to Devon. It's going to hot up, I'd say another turn or two, and we'll have some, not major actions, but the proverbial will hit the fan in Wormsdorf by the look of it. And we'll be interesting to see what happens up here, if he's going to come out to meet me, or I'm going to have to get him off of that ridge. Where's the ridge? There you go. Alright, we'll tune in next time. Thanks for watching. We'll hopefully find out and see what's what.